Started out the year, you guys were playing so amazing defensively. Last couple of weeks haven't been up to that standard. How do you guys go about, and how do you as a leader go about trying to get this team back to playing confident and playing defense the way that you guys can play?
Yeah, we know these last 2 weeks haven't been our standard. We've been hitting hard at practice, knowing Fort Hays coming here with a great running back and a great team. We've had the number last 2 years, but we just know we can get back to ourselves, get back to the details and discipline we had in the first few games, and try to get a win this week.
I know you guys were repping tackling a lot in practice this week, and you got more than one, I think. Coach McDowell said a perfect rep.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen secondaries that like to play the run as much as you. How do you go about, your mindset tackling and making sure that you get up there and make plays along the line?
Yeah, to show you a good defense is how physical your DBs are, how physical they want to get in the run fit to make sure to stop the run. It makes it easier to stop the pass. So I just take pride in that, try to come down in there and help the backers out, help D-line out, and make the coverage easy.
Vince.
I'll have to ask you a question, man. When you see Gunnar and Tyler have the things that they did as a defensive guy, is that just fun on the sideline watching them go?
Man, seeing TK and Gunnar go crazy like that it's nuts. Like I seen TK catch after touchdown number 3, I put my hands on my head like, wow, like I got to play with Tyler Kahmann. So I told him after the game, I like your autograph, and Gunnar can get a picture too. So to make sure everybody knows I'm not lying, I know these guys personally.
For you guys, right, as Blake kind of hit on, you guys pride yourself on defense, and Coach Lopo talked about, it's not just one guy, it's all 11 guys. And do you guys, take that to heart when it's just not about one player, not being selfish and focusing on the 11 guys that you guys have on the defensive side of the ball?
No, for sure. Football is the greatest team sport. Like I don't know fully sometimes what the D-line's rules are and their jobs are, but I have to trust them to do their job and they have to trust me to do my job. So it's not just the 11 on the field, it's everybody on the sideline too as well. Going into practice, going into each week, we need everybody to get this job done.
And obviously 2 home games in a row here and 2 good teams coming in to obviously Welch. So how do you guys just kind of prepare for 2 good teams coming in and hopefully continue what you guys want to accomplish here with the last 3 games of the year?
Yep, the standard is to protect the home field. So we haven't lost here in a little bit. We take pride in that, make sure it doesn't care who comes in here. We got some two good, great teams coming here and a good challenge for us. So we're just going to try to hold up the standard and make sure we don't lose at home.
That's all I got, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Landon.
It's been a month since you've played at home. How does it feel to finally be back?
Oh, it's fine to sleep in my own bed, home cooking, everything. Emporia, sweet weather, man. It should be nice to finally get a win at home this week.
Well, looking back to that game last year, it was a real shootout against Fort Hays. How do you guys plan on stopping that from happening again?
Yeah, I've been telling my guys all week these last few years that it's been nail biters with these guys. That we had the number the last few years. I know their coach is going to have them pumped to play. They've seen those games. They had their calendar probably circled for us. So, we just know we were getting their best, and that's all we want. So go in there this week and try to compete. So.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Well, you get some extra recognition this week, MIAA Player of the Week. What does that mean to you after having such a great game and getting a little bit of national recognition too?
Yeah, it's an honor. It's hard to do with such a competitive league. There's so many good players in this league, and I know there's a lot of other guys in this league that had a lot of good games too. The Hayes running back had a really good game. There was a receiver from Washburn had a really good game. So it's tough to do. It's an honor to get it, and it's just tough to do with this hard league
Looking at Fort Hays State, what they're probably going to put together defensively, what have been the things that stand out? And knowing that after seeing you do something like you did, you're not the top thing on the scouting report every week, but you're certainly going to get some extra emphasis, I would think, this week.
Yeah, Coach Brown and their coaching staff does a great job. It's hard to be the number 1 defense in the league statistically like they are, and you can see it on film. They fly around. One thing about them is that they keep stuff really simple, which I think is a good thing. They kind of do, they play a lot of cover 4, a lot of, we call it special, but it could be like match or something like that. And but they're really good at it, and it makes it tough when teams are really good at one thing. It's a little different than last week. Like Kearney, they do a lot of different stuff. So we just got to go in and got to execute our game plan, and it should be a good challenge.
Vince.
Tyler, AA was basically mentioning that when he had your 3rd touchdown, I don't know, you probably heard him. He had his hand, on his head, just like, wow, I get to play with him. Did you even realize what you were doing in that game? And obviously, I know you don't follow the stats a whole lot, but Did you realize just how good of a game you actually were having?
Yeah, I think to a degree I was, but to be honest, that game was so close the whole time. I was just worried about winning, man. It was a stressful game really from the jump. I mean, we threw our first play was a pick, so, and then when they go down and score, so we're down. But nah, man, it was a fun game. Obviously, I couldn't do without my teammates. Gunner obviously had a great game, and our offensive line played awesome. That D line was one of the best in the league, and they blitzed us the majority of the game, and they did a really good job of holding them and let me be able to run my routes.
It seems like when both offense and defensively, when you guys are playing well together and you guys are playing as a unit, it just seems like a lot of it goes your way. Do you see it that way, or what is it like when it just seems like everything goes your way when things are just clicking so well on both sides of the ball?
Do you mean goes my way as like on a team or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a team, like how things just go your way, whether then maybe the ball would bounce another way.
Right. I think that has a lot to do with your preparation and also experience. I think we have a lot of 6th-year, 5th-year guys that have been through a lot of tough football games. I mean, I don't know what the exact stat is, but we've had more probably 7-point games, like 7 and under point games, than probably anybody, I'm sure, in the last 4 years. Like it's ridiculous, and you get experience and you learn how to kind of win those games, how to play in those close games, and I think that's what happens a lot. And we got a lot of guys that know how to prepare, and I think that helps.
One last thing for me, man. You got these last two home games in the last 3 of the year. So, just how exciting is it just to be back home and take care of business with 2 good teams coming in too?
Yeah, Fort Hays and your UCM, great teams. They're going to come in and they're going to give us our best shot. Fort Hays is always a team that is tough to play against because they play so hard. And they also have a lot of older guys that know how to win games. And so we're going to have to execute, man, and it is fun getting back. I know you said like it's been like a month since we've been playing at home, which is crazy. But yeah, so it's exciting. I'm excited to compete against them this week.
That's all I got, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Landon.
Hey, we know the MIA is tough regardless, but the last 3 weeks, maybe not the top end teams. Still, the offense has turned it up a notch. How's it feel just to get the ball moving like you have in the past few years?
Yeah, I think it gives us a lot of confidence. I think it's fun. It's really fun when our offense is rolling and we're playing fast and stuff like that. At the beginning of the year, I think we were moving the ball fine for the most part. It was just really in the red zone. We just weren't getting it in. And we did. Kearney actually had the top red zone defense in the league going into last week, and we were 4 for 5, which you want to be 5 for 5, but 4 for 5 against them is pretty good. And so I think just getting the ball rolling and stuff gives us a lot of confidence moving forward. And these last 3 games are going to be very, very, very tough games. Got to take it 1 week at a time, but yeah, I think it's exciting.
And to come off the bye week and put up 6 touchdowns, do you feel like whatever you guys were trying to do during that bye week panned out?
Yeah, I think our coaches did a really good job on not losing our rhythm, but also giving us a little bit of a rest in a way. Because we do have a lot of older guys that play a lot of football, and I think the rest is important. But we were still on the same page, and I think you could kind of see it in the first quarter. Like we were a little out of sync, maybe just a little bit. But then once we got it going, man, it was, like I said, it was fun, and we need to continue to do that.
Awesome, thanks, man.
Thank you, appreciate you guys.
One other thing for you this weekend, never know how it's going to turn out. They're calling for a lot of rain this weekend. Does that change how you guys approach your game plan? Does it change how you approach, the things that you need to emphasize to be successful?
I think you think about it a little bit, but if you guys remember last year against Kearney, it was like the worst weather you could probably ask for, and we still threw the ball 50 times or whatever it was. So to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to affect our game plan much. I'm sure Gunner's, I've never seen him throw in the rain, but he's a phenomenal player, so I'm sure he's fine. It does affect catching, I guess, a little bit and stuff like that, running routes, but as long as we go execute our game plan, I mean, it doesn't affect it too much.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Coach, when you go up against a team like Fort Hays State, this is kind of the classic, they say in boxing that styles make fights, and you got an offensive coach with one of the best offenses in the league, certainly the best in the last 3 weeks, against a defensive guy with Pitt State and the #1 defense in the MIAA. How do How do you see this style of fight playing out on Saturday?
Well, it's a great matchup, in many other areas too as well. But Coach Brown, the one thing about his teams, are always physical. They're always very well coached. I never had the opportunity to watch him play, but I can only imagine. All right, he's probably the guy that would maybe hit a receiver during 7-on-7. All right. His teams are physical. That's just and they play hard. So it's going to be, it is another Saturday in the MIAA.
Looking at the weather, and I asked Tyler Kahmann this, but certainly never know how it's going to play out, but they're certainly calling for a lot of rain. He reminded us that, probably in the worst weather possible last year against Nebraska Kearney, you guys still found a way to throw it 50 times and have quite a bit of success. So obviously you guys can have success in the rain. Does it change when you guys put together a call sheet or think about the way that you want to score?
I think for us it's more a little bit about the wind than it may change a little bit, but my thing is, and Tyler made a great statement, is we know what our identity is, all right? And I'm a former quarterback, wasn't very good, but I do know how important it is for footballs. And when you play, like, we will be prepared. I can promise you that. We will be prepared to handle the elements.
Vince.
And Coach, when you have, two of the last three home games, or two of the last three games being home games, how important will that be just to kind of continue to ride that momentum that you guys are on, offensively, and kind of get back into the groove that you guys had, defensively in the first maybe 4 or 5 games of the season?
Yeah, I think that regardless of how many games we got, again, I'm just concentrating on this one, but you are exactly right about momentum. We're coming down to the stretch here, and it's a very, very difficult, tough, demanding stretch, and we're playing well. We're starting to play a lot better offensively and get into a groove, and defensively we're playing good in spots. I just know, even talking with Coach Raporto, we want to be more consistent. So this is a great time to get back to some of that consistency that we had shown earlier in the year. And I will tell you that we've had, I feel like, defensively, being down there and watching them at times, this has been a very, very physical week of practice for those guys, and I feel like that they've done a really good job.
It's something, Coach, too, when you see the performance of Tyler and obviously what Gunner did to him was, nearly 700 passing yards, which is absolutely crazy. Did you have any idea of what those guys were doing in the game and just the performance that they were having?
Right. No, I did not. Like, I was Tyler always catches a lot of footballs, right? So, like, I until after the game, when I'm doing the radio interviews and I'm over there by Don, and of course Don, he's numbers guy, stat guy, like, I might have heard it under his breath he was talking about, and I was like, how many catches did he have? And then he kind of told me the numbers. So no, I did not know. My biggest thing is when you get involved in a game, you're just thinking about, making adjustments if you need to, calling plays, just all the different dynamic scenarios that can happen during the course of the game. You're not thinking about, like, well, I wonder how many catches Tyler has or how many yards we've thrown for or anything like that, because at the end of the day, our main objective, of course, is to put points on the board.
And one last thing I got, Coach, and when you look at just where you guys are at, you said you're in a good spot. I think it was last week at 7-1. Do you preach that same thing to the team, or what are you telling them as these last 3 games happen here where, hey, we're not in a good spot, we are in a good spot? What do you kind of, tell them right now with these last 3 games?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is to make sure you communicate with them and are honest with them, and don't pull any punches. And the only thing that we've talked about, of course, is we're the toughness of our schedule remaining, and everything else. We've talked about, we control things right now. We're in a position to control our season. We are in position where we were not last year, even though we were having a really good year, where we were not the year before. It's been a while since we've been in this type of controllable situation. and the importance of what you do during the course of the week gives you that opportunity to earn a win. All right, because this league is so difficult and very tough that everything you do, you got to go out and earn it. And the way you do it is how you prepare during the course of the week, and are you taking pride in it, and are you getting better? Is our leadership beginning to continue to step up? All those things, everything's important here as we finish up the season. But the main focus is 1 week at a time, and keeping our head down, and earmuffs and blinders, and focusing on the task at hand.
I was waiting for that to come out.
There it is. There it is. I wanted to see where I could use it.
All right, Coach, you almost got into it there, but what's something you worked on during the bye week that you saw play out in a good way last weekend?
That's a good question, Landon. I think it was just really good I'm going to go back to it, just really good for us to see some of those young guys be able to get some looks. We were able to kind of coach them up. I think just the way we handled that open date with resting some of our older guys. They practiced, but I'm going to be quite honest with you, Landon, though we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Tuesday, Wednesday, as far as what they did, it might have been 20 minutes of things, but I thought our focus was really still good. And we were able to put a few things in just to kind of, anytime you get a little bit of extra time, preparation, you may put a few things in. Offensively we did that. I'm not for sure if they did that defensively, but I thought our mindset was right. But I tell you, Landon, the biggest thing I felt was when we come off the open date, talking to the captains on that Sunday when we brought them back, when we're getting ready to get into Carney Week. That was huge. I thought they really did a good job of showing their leadership on the week after the bye week.
I know we talked at the beginning of the season about the defense stepping up. It's been the offense the last few weeks. Is that good knowing the offense can step up, or is it disheartening knowing the defense have given up 30-plus the past couple weeks? Where are you at on that?
Yeah, I think, again, it's not. It's encouraging. Of course, we're getting better offensively. I thought we would get better. I talked all the time at the beginning of the year, and just with some of our struggles, efficiency in the red zone, and just being able to put points on the board, having a new starter at quarterback, and trying to get him in rhythm and things like that. That I knew that we were going to get better. I believed it, and you're seeing that. The thing defensively is our kids are playing hard. They're playing the right way. We are facing, and I said this too, down the road, we're going to face better offenses as we progress, so, kind of like we were playing some, really, really good defenses, early on too. It all kind of works itself out. So not disheartening about where our defense is playing. I think we just need to be more consistent for 4 quarters.
Cool. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you bet.
Appreciate it.
Is that it? All right. See you guys.